old Nintendo gamer.
And son.
So we'll move on, and we're going to start and finish off this podcast with the death of directs. Something that Dazzy B said in the Discord, actually. This is it. When Nintendo have got rid of directs. They're not happening anymore. When they're throwing games out like Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, and then a couple of days before they showed their 2-minute trailer, and that was it, 2 minutes. I thought, what can they show in 2 minutes? What did they show in 2 minutes, Greg? Did it blow you away? As much as it blew me away?
I don't know if blowing me away was like would be the right way to describe it, but it's been enough to make me pre-order the game because I think like I'm excited to play what's there, and I'm expecting it to be like a short experience. But yeah, like it was enough of a wee teaser, and then obviously the day after they released a longer video. I think it's maybe about 7 minutes long. Yeah, where they sort of went into a few things about how the expansion works, and
I've not seen that.
Yeah, it's all good. Like I'm ready to play it, and I actually kind of forgot about the like. Obviously, they haven't really focused on it that much, like the actual 3D world part of the game, which is already a great game, but I'd actually kind of forgot that it's supposed to run quicker and stuff on the Switch now, like the movement speed and all is supposed to be better. Like I'm really looking forward to actually playing through the whole thing again.
And you, Nick?
Yeah,
what was
same
your
for me.
takeaway, especially of the 2-minute trailer?
Like, when it was announced, I just was like, oh, again, another port. But no, I think that Bowser's Fury trailer did enough to sell me on it. And it's weird because it just, to me, it seemed like a really weird mix of Land, World, and Odyssey all in one sort of. It's a bit strange that it seems to just be one big level, but I guess we'll see a bit more maybe closer to the time. But
they've dropped a lot of information on the official website, which opened as well, which kind of clarifies a bit more about that.
So it's not just one.
Do you want me to run through it?
Go for it.
It is an open world thing, but there's segmented islands apparently. And let me find the little section here. It goes, I'll read it out verbatim from the thing. I've cut it into a slightly shorter, but it goes, something bad has happened to Bowser. He's been tainted by a mysterious black goop, turning him into a humongous monster bent on total destruction. It's up to Mario and an unlikely companion, which is Bowser Jr., as we know, to travel across a series of islands on Lake Lapcat, collect the mysterious cat shines by completing different platforming challenges, which look a little bit like the shines from Sunshine. And then you harness that power to stop the terrifying Fury Bowser rather. So as you're in one particular little island, they call it, in this open world area, you look for 5 cat shines. And as you're looking, it's probably tied into how many cat shines you get, but it says, as you're looking around, the evil Fury sun, it's that spiked black ball that Bowser bursts out of, starts to slowly rise out of this black goop near your location, so it doesn't matter which island you're on, and then bursts open, and then you've got to weather his storm, basically, which we saw in the first 2-minute trailer, didn't we? He shoots those little, he shoots massive fireballs, and rains kind of meteorites down, doesn't he, which you can use as platforms. So you've got to weather that out, and then he disappears again. But if you collect all 5 cat shines, when he turns into Fury Bowser, you then go to the Giga Bell when you get Giga Cat Mario, who looks like a lion, and then you get to fight Bowser, which once you've defeated him as Giga Cat Bell Mario, it will unlock the next island to get to, which you get via Plezzy, the water-riding dinosaur. Then you can traverse back and forth between islands. You don't have to stay in one island. But so I suppose it is one open world, but the areas are locked off from the beginning, and you get to unlock them by defeating Bowser. So you're going to have to defeat Bowser a few times. They didn't say how many islands there were or how long the game is, but they did tweet it's not substantial. So this put a slight dampener on my enthusiasm for this. I'm looking in the region of like 3-5 hours of extra content there.
For me, that's fine because the original game is so good. Like, I'm happy to play it again. The fact that it's got online as well, which means completing it with 5 players is going to be much faster this time. Because I think I managed it with Mario, Luigi, and Rosalina on the Wii U, and then I just gave up because I couldn't be bothered to do it again with Peach and Toad. But I know something special unlocks, doesn't it, when you do it with all of them? Can't remember what it was.
Not sure.
I'm not too sure either. It's probably an extra stamp.
Maybe
it?
another stamp.
Something minimal but worthy.
But yeah, the base game. It's been 5 years, maybe 6 years since I played through it. It was just before the Switch came out, or a year or so before the Switch came out. I was the final year of the Wii U. I played through 3D World and almost finished Xenoblade Chronicles X. So, yeah, good memories of that one. Definitely want to play it again. I probably will get this and Bravely Default 2 with a voucher. Probably. Unless I find them physical cheaper, which I don't think I will.
And another little bonus there, because I know Greg in particular likes his Captain Toad Treasure Tracker game, and Captain Toad levels came originally from Super Mario 3D World. You can play those in co-op. They were, in the original on Wii U, they were locked to a single-player experience. You can actually go through those now with up to 3 friends, so 4 of you can play through the Captain Toad levels at the same time.
Yep, and those levels were locked entirely to the gamepad use as well.
Ah, yes, yeah.
Which was a bit of an irritation. But yeah, I actually didn't really like the Captain Toad levels in the original 3D World. Like when I was playing the game, I kind of just wanted to be doing the platforming and stuff. So I was actually surprised by how good Captain Toad, like the proper game, was. But yeah, they weren't that great in this.
Other little touches, Amiibo, I know probably we won't be picking up any, but Cat Mario gives you a super invincible, basically white bell, which turns you into invincible Cat Mario, and you can just steam through the level. And then if you get Cat Peach, she gives you a random power-up. But Bowser and Bowser Jr.'s Amiibo as well give you other special effects. Special activations, they call them. And Bowser gives you, makes Fury Bowser appear. So if you want him to appear quicker, you click on your Bowser amiibo and that becomes straight away, giving you something to do. I wonder if certain areas are locked off until he appears, maybe. And Bowser Jr. then, if you click him on his amiibo onto your NFC recorder, he unleashes a powerful shockwave to knock out nearby enemies and blocks, making the game probably significantly easier if you can do that. Spam that, just click that amiibo all the way through the level. So amiibo are integrated into it as well, and I think all amiibo work on it and give you random power-ups as far as I'm aware. What's quite shocking for me is the file size. 2.9 gigabytes. Nintendo have done it again there, Nick.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Wii U one was very small as well, wasn't it? I think
1.7 gigabytes, yeah.
Not surprising.
Yeah. It's amazing file size when you compare it to some of the indie offerings at 2.9 gigabytes. They're giving nothing away to what this game is. Anything else to take away from this game? Nick, did you pre-order it?
No, I'm not.
You're waiting for vouchers?
No, I'm going to do it later. I'm not going to pre-order it. I'll get it after it comes out.
I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I've still got the Wii U version sitting underneath my
Me too.
TV, so it's like, is it worth that just for those 3 to 5 extra hours? I don't know. If I can get some cash for the Wii U version, maybe. The other game that made Dazzy B say, that's it, Nintendo Directs are dead, is they just drop in their big games. Yes, this is Game Freak. Yes, this is the Pokemon Company. New Pokemon Snap, something I'm not so excited for, but does look the part. You can pre-order this now from the Switch eShop. This is 6.8 gigabytes of free space it'll take up on your system. Coming out at the usual price of $60 in the US, £50 in the West, in the UK eShop. Coming out on April the 30th, throwing my predictions all off kilter and off skewer there. Are you interested to visit the Lentil region, Greg?
I don't really think so. I keep thinking about maybe getting the N64 version downloaded on the Wii U Virtual Console before all that Virtual Console stuff eventually disappears from the Wii U. But I just never get around to it. The thought of paying the $8.99 for it, it's just not at the right price for me to just like buy it. It's a wee bit too high in case I don't really like it. But maybe if I did buy it and like it, I'd be much more interested in the sequel. But I don't really think I'm that bothered about this, to be honest.
This is something I haven't looked into as well. I wonder if you can go along with 2 players at the same time. That would be good. You know, if you had a little one, you know, Jacob or something, and he could do something while you're going along, and you could take split screen 2 cars. I doubt very much they would have split screen on a Pokemon game. They technically they're not wizards. Even though this is Bandai Namco, yeah, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll see. There'll be something nice for a family activity to do rather than for me to sit down myself. Nick, are you interested in this?
Yeah, because the original is one of the best N64 games. I absolutely loved the original. Yeah, it was great. Like, it's the original. You could finish the actual like game start to finish in about 2 or 3 hours, but there was so much other stuff you could do, and like how you set up all the photos and like throwing stuff at the Pokemon and making them do different things. That's where the replay value is in the game. And if this one, I think the original had 64 Pokemon in it. This has got 200. So 200, there's going to be a lot more content. I guess the main game is going to be fairly short. Like, you can probably go through it in about 5 or so hours, probably. That's my prediction. But I think there's going to be heaps of stuff you can do, heaps of unlockables, heaps of like things that you can take with you into the whatever it's called, that thing that you move in. And yeah, it's going to be fun because it's all about experimentation, like just doing different stuff and seeing how they react and trying to get a unique and interesting photo. So that's where the sort of the best aspect of Pokemon Snap was. And I put in tons of hours onto the N64 version, and I absolutely loved it. Like getting a high score is really, really difficult.
Does the N64 version hold up?
I don't know. I've not played it since like 1999, so I couldn't tell you. But it's really, really fun. I don't know whether it's worth getting for $8.99 on the Wii U, but I think I'm a little bit put off by the €60 price tag, because I'm pretty sure the N64 version was not full price. It was slightly cheaper than regular retail games because of its length. But we'll see.
Yeah, maybe this is packed full of content, like you say, you know, multiple routes or something.
I'm definitely keen on it, though. I'm definitely interested.
It's that sort of aspect that actually kind of tempts me about the N64 one, because in a way, it's like, obviously it's a photography game, but it kind of feels almost like a Lilac Wars type thing, where
a little
bit,
the
levels are short.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll see. I might give it a go. Regardless, I can't see myself being tempted by the Switch version, but you never know.
So my final question to round out this podcast then is what Dazzy B brought up. Are Nintendo Directs dead, Nick?
No, I don't think so.
They're throwing out these big games. I know we can have mini games, mini Nintendo Directs, but does it mean there's not enough for Nintendo to put out in one Direct? They're doing it piecemeal now.
I think they're just like... They're wanting these big games to stand alone, basically. I think what we're going to see is a big one every year. At E3, if E3 comes back, we'll see a long Direct. But I think it's mostly going to be these partner Directs and these, what's it called? The indie Directs as well. Indies or whatever it's called.
Indie World
Showcase, yeah. And I think Nintendo are going to keep their games separate, and they're going to do it on YouTube. Or they're going to do like a presentation like with Smash Brothers when there's a new character, for example. Everything's going to be separate. And then they'll have partners together and they'll have indies together. And then maybe once a year we'll get a big blowout of new stuff. But I think the only things that happened with Nintendo Directs outside of E3 was just disappointment all the time. There was always somebody who wasn't happy with something. Everybody was always complaining online about what they wanted wasn't there. Rumours were getting stupid, and then people were disappointed. So I think actually it's quite sensible to just do this sort of bit by bit and just say, oh, tomorrow there's a new trailer dropping for 3D World. there you go, enjoy
it.
And it works, yeah. So I think, they're just trying to probably stave off the negativity around directs, because it's true, because for the last 4 or 5 years, the majority of directs have had a negative reaction, including the indie partner showcases when they first started. So I think they're just trying, not the indie, the third-party showcases when they first started. So I think they're just trying to sort of balance anticipation, expectation, and then the actual content that they're going to show a little bit more. And that's why we won't get these 25, 30-minute ones. We'll get minis, which people already know, okay, it's a mini, we don't need to get so excited for it, and stuff like that. So, yeah. It's not a big shame, in my opinion. I'm happy with the way it works now, or the way it's worked for the past year. I just don't want them to be too quiet for too long.
Yeah, that's my only main concern, because before this 2-minute trailer came out, there was nothing, was there?
Yeah.
And then this 2-minute trailer, but what's next? Yeah, it's always waiting for what's next and when is it going to come. Any thoughts, Greg?
I suppose in a way I am kind of starting to think that the sort of traditional directs, as we would maybe kind of see them, are maybe like disappearing, because obviously we haven't really seen a proper one for quite some time now, and E3 this year, for example, is definitely not going to happen as it would have done in like previous years or anything. I'm
Do you know what's going to happen? In January, we've got, is it January? It must be late January. The Taipei game show is still happening, and it's in full flow, so maybe that can take over from E3. I should go, really.
I don't know. It's another difficult year ahead, really, but I think when we sort of think of directs, it's like it is the excitement beforehand that really gives everybody sort of a buzz, and then like, because everybody's thinking all the possibilities of what could be shown.
Metroid.
Ultimately, most people come away from it going, "Oh, I didn't see what I wanted to see from it," and there is a disappointment there. But there's also like, because direct sort of like shows several games at one time, like there's always going to be like 1 or 2 games from that direct that kind of take all the eyes, so like the other games kind of don't really get spoke about as much. So like if there was like a wee weird quirky knockoff like Kirby game that was shown as part of a big direct, like a lot of people are going to be talking about the big Metroid reveal or whatever that would have been in the direct as well. Whereas if tomorrow Nintendo tweet about this new Kirby game, like all the eyes are kind of on that, and like the people that don't care about it, they'll dismiss it, but everybody else will be like, yeah, all right. But it's going to be that one game that everybody's sort of talking about for that day, as opposed to the conversation being divided amongst several different games. So I don't know. I think they're still just, Nintendo are just experimenting still with what is getting the message across, and like the sales figures for the Switch show that whatever they're doing is working. So yeah, fair play.
Yeah, it's like you both said, amalgamating them and saying, right, both of these are working, dropping little bits, doing little mini directs and all that when the time comes that we got enough to put together to drop a few games together, and just a healthy mixture of both messaging systems. I just want to know what you're doing, Nintendo, a little bit more often, that's all. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a like if you've enjoyed our content. You can also check out our other great content on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and the N-E Café podcast from all good podcast providers. Just follow the links in the description below.